Hi everyone, I'm Doris from Susan's family. Today I'll teach you how to make the children's version of the Scallion sweater. For this electronic tutorial, you can search for susud.com on the website to check it out. The garment is divided into 4 parts: the shoulder parts, the body, the sleeves, and the neckline edging. First, crochet the shoulder parts and body from top to bottom, then work on the sleeves. Finally, work the neckline edging. Let's start by learning how to crochet the shoulder parts section. It is divided into Section 1, Section 2, and Section 3. Begin with Section 1. This includes the cast on and the first round. The stitch techniques used are chain stitches, double crochets, and slip stitches. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet method. First, you need to process the yarn. You can see that the gem twist is a bundle of threads woven together. Find any position of the yarn tail and cut it off. Gently shake off any small yarn tails. The cut end forms a yarn tail and a few loops. Gently pull the yarn tail, and the loops will loosen. Make sure to pull gently. If after pulling a few stitches, you find that the yarn tail has a knot, then untie the knot. Or choose another nearby section of the weave and cut it again, until when you pull the yarn tail, all the loops loosen one by one. Next, combine the strand of gem twist with another type of yarn into a group for crocheting. For specific yarn, the color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. In the following explanation, when I say one strand of yarn, it actually refers to such a group of yarns. This will not be repeated later on, before we start crocheting. Let's first learn the basic posture for crocheting. In order to make it easier for everyone to see clearly, I will use cotton yarn for demonstration. Let's start by casting on. Pick up the yarn with your right hand, wrap it around your left little finger once, and pass it through between your middle finger and index finger. Then pinch the yarn tail with your thumb and middle finger. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand, place it underneath the yarn, and wrap the yarn counterclockwise around the hook. Use your left thumb and middle finger to pinch the crossing point of the loop. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten. Now start crocheting chain stitches. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. One chain stitch is completed. The chain stitches you made while starting, they all need to be a little loose. This kind of braid represents one stitch. Continue crocheting chain stitches. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This is the second stitch. The third stitch. Pay attention everyone. These 3 chain stitches here need to be slightly loose. After completing the 3 chain stitches, let's get to know the chain stitch. On the right side of the chain stitch, there is a V-shaped braid. Pick up the half loop above the first braid. That is, this single strand of yarn. Work a double crochet. Yarn over the hook. Insert. Yarn over. Pull through. The double crochet here also needs to be enlarged. Pull it to the height of 3 chains. Now there are 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over. Pull through the first 2 loops on your hook. There are 2 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over again. Pull through all loops on the hook. 1 double crochet is done. Corresponding to the upper right, there is a V-shaped braid. This is the stitch of this double crochet. We treat these 3 chains and 1 double crochet as one cast on grid. Continue with 3 more chains. After completing them, pick up the stitch of the previous double crochet to make another double crochet. Yarn over your hook. Insert it here. Yarn over again. Draw the yarn through. Pay attention to enlarging the height of this double crochet. Then yarn over. Pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this twice. 1 time. 2 times. Another double crochet is now complete. The second grid is also completed. Everyone should mind the height of a group of grid. Continue with the third one. Pay attention. Each double crochet is worked into the stitch of the previous double crochet. Everyone continue crocheting downward. This round of casting on is continuous crochet in this kind of grid. The specific number of grids, please refer to the chart. After completing the required number of grids, fold the fabric in half. Mind not to twist it in the middle. Join with a slip stitch for the beginning and ending. Insert the hook into the middle hole of the first cast on grid. Place the yarn tail of the cast on above the hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Pull through all loops on the hook in one go. The slip stitch is completed. This is the chain formed by the slip stitch. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch. You need to tighten it. Here, my swatch has fewer stitches for demonstration. Everyone, take a look. This is what it looks like after completing the cast on. After finishing the cast on, try slipping it over your head. If it's too small or too big, you'll need to adjust your tension, and then recrochet. Next, we'll work on the first round. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet stitch. Then, work 3 more double crochets in the same chain space below. When crocheting, keep the yarn tail of the cast on above the crochet hook. Hide it as you work. Including the beginning chain, there are 4 double crochets here in total. This round involves working 4 double crochets into each cast on grid. Complete this entire round. After finishing the last stitch, pick up the 2 strands of the third braid from the beginning chain. That is, right here. Yarn over, and draw the yarn through. Pull through all the loops on the hook once. Tighten it. Like this, the first round is completed. Section 1 is done. Next, move on to section 2. Crochet back and forth for a few rows based on section 1. To create the front and back difference at the back, the new stitches used include single crochet, half double crochet, DC3 tog, DC3 bobble. Please watch me demonstrate. Start with the first row. First, you need to adjust the starting position. Transition using a slip stitch. Insert the hook into the adjacent stitch. The stitch here is a bit deformed due to the slip stitch pulling. Everyone, pay attention not to pick the wrong position. Make one slip stitch. Note: the round solid dot indicates that the slip stitch needs to be tightened. The oval solid dot indicates that the slip stitch does not need to be tightened. This will not be repeated later. Continue inserting into the adjacent stitch. Make a slip stitch. This way, the yarn tail is adjusted to the corresponding position. Begin crocheting. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. These 3 chain stitches also count as 1 double crochet. Then, make 1 chain stitch for the interval. After completing, skip the next 2 stitches below. On the 3rd stitch from the left, make 1 single crochet. Then, work 3 chain stitches for the interval. After completing, skip the next 2 stitches below. Starting from the 3rd stitch on the left, work even with 5 double crochets. After completing, make 3 chain stitches for the interval. Then, skip the next 2 stitches below. On the 3rd stitch from the left, make 1 single crochet. Work 3 more chain stitches for the interval. Then, make a single crochet in the 3rd stitch from the left. Continue with 3 chain stitches for another interval. After completing, make another single crochet in the 3rd stitch from the left. Work 3 more chains. We consider the 5 double crochets here, 3 single crochets, and the 4 groups of chain stitches on this side, as one pattern 1. Continue crocheting pattern 1 with this stitch pattern. Skip the 2 stitches below. Start from the 3rd stitch on the left, and work 5 double crochets in sequence. Then, make 3 chain stitches. Next, skip 2 stitches and work a single crochet. Work 3 chains after each single crochet. Repeat this process 3 times. Another group of pattern 1 is now completed. Continue starting from the 3rd stitch on the left, and work 5 double crochets evenly. Then work 3 chain stitches as an interval. Work 1 single crochet in the 3rd stitch from the left. Work 1 more chain stitch. Then, work 1 double crochet in the 3rd stitch on the left. That completes the first row. Now take a look at the fabric. The side with the clearer texture is the right side. The other side is the wrong side. The texture on the wrong side is less defined. Next, we'll work on the second row. Work 2 chain stitches first. Then turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Pick up the double crochet stitch from the previous row. Work a double crochet. Since this row is crocheted on the wrong side, the corresponding stitch is the braid above the double crochet on the left. That means these 2 strands of yarn. Work 3 double crochets evenly. After completing, work 5 chain stitches as an interval. Then work 1 double crochet in the same stitch below. Then in the adjacent 2 stitches, work 1 double crochet each. That is, on the 5 double crochets from the previous row, you will have worked 6 double crochets. 5 chain stitches in the middle as an interval, then work 2 chain stitches. After completing, in the chain space between single crochets below, work 1 single crochet. Then work 3 chain stitches. After completing, work 1 single crochet in the adjacent chain space. Then work 2 more chains. We consider this group of double crochets, along with the chains and single crochet on the left side, as pattern 2. Continue crocheting another group of pattern 2 with the same stitch pattern. After completing, continue with 6 double crochets on the left double crochet. In the middle, work 5 chains as a bridge. After completing, finally work 2 more chains. Then, on the 3rd braid of the first row's beginning chain, pick up 2 strands and work 1 slip stitch. Then, on the 3rd stitch below on the left side, work 1 double crochet. This is the stitch on the left side of the beginning chain. This completes the 2nd row. Below, start the 3rd row. First, work 1 chain. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Then, in the same insertion position as the previous slip stitch, work 1 single crochet. This is the position of the first row's beginning chain. Work 1 more chain. Pick up the adjacent double crochet stitch below. Work 3 double crochets evenly. Then, work 3 chains as a bridge. After completing, in the space made by 5 chains below, work 7 double crochets. After completing, continue with 3 chain stitches as an interval. Then, in the adjacent stitch, work 3 double crochets evenly. Next, work 1 chain stitch as an interval. In the space made by 3 chains below, work 1 single crochet. Then, work 1 more chain. Here, we treat the 13 double crochets, the chain stitches in between, and the single crochet with 2 chains on the left side, as one pattern 3. Continue crocheting this pattern 3 downwards. The last group of pattern 3's single crochets is worked into the last double crochet of row 1. After completing the last group of pattern 3, work 3 more chains. Then, at the insertion point of this double crochet, locate the 3rd stitch on the left side. Make 1 slip stitch. That way, row 3 is completed. Continue with row 4. First, you need to adjust the starting position. Do this with a slip stitch transition. Work 1 slip stitch in each of the 2 stitches on the left side. This way, the yarn tail is adjusted to the corresponding position. Start crocheting. Insert the hook into the adjacent stitch. Work 1 single crochet. Then work 3 chain stitches. After completing, turn the piece counterclockwise. In the chain space from the previous row, work 1 double crochet. Then work 3 chain stitches. The next stitch is DC3 tog. First, in the adjacent 3 double crochet stitches, work 1 incomplete double crochet in each of them. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. This is the first incomplete double crochet, then work the second one. Yarn over the hook, insert into the adjacent stitch. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. There's the second one. Continue with the third one. After finishing it, there are now 4 loops on the hook in total. Yarn over, and draw through all 4 loops on the hook. That completes 1 DC3 tog. From now on, I'll simply call it a cluster stitch, then work 3 chains for the interval. Next, work 1 DC3 bobble in the next stitch. First, on the same stitch on the left side, work 3 incomplete double crochets. One, 2, 3. After completing that, yarn over, and pull through all the loops on your hook. That completes 1 DC3 bobble. From now on, I'll simply call it a bobble stitch. Next, work 3 chain stitches for the interval. Then skip 1 stitch below. On the second stitch from the left side, work 1 bobble stitch. Work 3 more chain stitches for the interval. Continue to crochet bobble stitches and cluster stitches on the corresponding stitches. In between, always work 3 chain stitches for the spaces. Here, we have 2 cluster stitches, 4 bobble stitches, and 5 groups of chain stitches in between. Consider this as one pattern 4. Continue working these pattern 4 sections. Between each pattern 4, work 1 chain stitch for the space. After completing the last group, work 3 chain stitches. Then pick up the double crochet from the previous row, and work 1 double crochet stitch. Pay attention to the position carefully. Work 3 more chain stitches. Once completed, on the left side, at the third stitch, work 1 single crochet stitch. Work 1 more chain stitch. Then, on the left side at the third stitch, work 1 double crochet stitch. That completes row 4. Next, we'll work on row 5. Start with 3 chain stitches. Turn the fabric counterclockwise. Then work 1 double crochet stitch in the chain space below. Pay attention to the position carefully. Work 3 more chain stitches for the interval. The crochet pattern for this row is, in the chain space from the previous row with 3 chains, work double crochets. Between the double crochets, work 3 chain stitches as an interval. Refer to the chart and continue crocheting. After completing the last double crochet, work 3 chain stitches. Then, on the single crochet of row 4 below, pick up any 2 threads. Make 1 slip stitch. Pay attention to the insertion point here. Work on this single crochet. Then chain 4. Next, in the third stitch from the left, Work 1 single crochet. That completes row 5. Now work row 6. Start with 1 chain as your beginning chain. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Next, in the chain space on the left side, work 1 single crochet. Work 1 half double crochet. Then work 2 double crochets. After completing those, work 3 double crochets in the adjacent chain space. For the rest of this row, work double crochets in the chain spaces and double crochet stitches. Refer to the chart for the exact number of double crochets. Continue working downward. After completing the last double crochet in the chain space, pick the adjacent double crochet stitch, which is right here, and work 2 double crochets. After that, work 1 half double crochet, and work 1 single crochet. Finally, work 1 slip stitch in the adjacent stitch. That completes the 6th row. Take a look. This is what section 2 looks like when it's done. Now we need to place 2 markers first. To make it convenient to divide the armhole later, place the front side of the fabric facing you. Find the left side of section 2. In the cast-on grid at the bottom on the left, place a stitch marker. Then on the right side, in the cast-on grid at the bottom on the right, place another stitch marker. That's it for marking. Next, let's move on to section 3. Continue crocheting in rounds based on sections 1 and 2. 6 rounds make up one sequence. There are a total of 3 sequences. The stitches and crochet method for each sequence are identical, but the number of patterns differs. Watch me demonstrate. First, you need to adjust the starting position. Use slip stitch transition. Work across 4 adjacent stitches. Crochet 1 slip stitch in each of them. This will adjust the yarn tail to the corresponding position. Now, start crocheting. Begin with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. These 3 chain stitches count as 1 double crochet. Then, turn the fabric counterclockwise. Work even double crochets into the adjacent stitches. That is, insert the hook into the same insertion point as the slip stitch. Weave in the slip stitch braid together. Counting the beginning chain. Here, we've already crocheted 4 stitches. For the 5th stitch, pick up the adjacent single crochet stitch, and crochet into it. After completing, crochet 3 chain stitches as the interval. Then, skip 1 stitch. Crochet 1 single crochet into the 2nd stitch on the left side. In this round, we're picking up each stitch to correspondingly crochet pattern 1. Each group of pattern 1 uses 15 stitches from the previous round. That is, on the left side of each group of pattern 1 with 5 double crochets, there is an interval of 1 stitch. For the remaining positions, leave an interval of 2 stitches. Everyone follow this pattern, and finish crocheting this round. If the stitch count doesn't match perfectly at the end, it's okay. When crocheting the last few patterns, you can skip one more or one less stitch. Just make sure the number of pattern 1 groups matches the chart. After completing the final group, insert the hook under 2 strands of the 3rd chain from the beginning chain. Make 1 slip stitch to join. Tighten. That completes the first round. Next, crochet the second round. Start with 3 chains as the beginning chain. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet. This corresponds to the beginning chain below. For this round, crocheting the same amount of pattern 2 on pattern 1. Just follow the chart to crochet. After completing the last stitch, insert the hook under 2 strands of the 3rd chain from the beginning chain, and join with a slip stitch. Tighten. That completes the second round. For the 3rd round, crochet pattern 3 on top of the 2nd round. Refer to the chart and complete the 3rd round. After completing the last stitch, join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain. That completes the 3rd round. Next, crochet the 4th round. Start with 2 chain stitches as a beginning chain. These 2 chains count as an incomplete double crochet. Then pick up the adjacent 2 stitches and work 1 incomplete double crochet into each of them. Then yarn over, and draw through all the loops on your hook once. Since there is a beginning chain here, the way to work this cluster is a bit special. All the cluster stitches at the starting position from now on are worked in this way. Refer to the chart and continue crocheting pattern 4. Work 1 chain stitch as an interval between each pattern 4. After completing the last stitch, pick up the stitch of the first cluster, which is the 3rd braid here, and join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. That completes the 4th round. Now, let's look at the 5th round. Here, the 5th round has already been completed. I'll explain the crochet pattern for this round using this sample swatch. First, you need to adjust the starting position. After that, make 3 beginning chains. This round follows the same crochet pattern as the middle of section 2's 5th round. You work double crochet into the space made by 3 chain stitches. Work 3 chain stitches as an interval between the double crochets. After completing the final 3 chain stitches, pick up the 2 strands of the 3rd braid from the beginning chain and join with a slip stitch. Then move on to the 6th round. The stitch count for this round varies depending on the size. First, refer to the chart to confirm the stitch count for this round. For size worked evenly, work 3 double crochets into each chain space. Work 1 double crochet into each stitch. For sizes that require increasing stitches, mark the increase placement with stitch markers first. Place the stitch markers evenly according to the number of increases needed. The markers should be placed in the chain spaces. The positions here are not fixed. Just place the corresponding number of markers as evenly as possible. After placing all the stitch markers, while crocheting downward, work 4 double crochets into the chain spaces marked by the stitch markers. Work 3 double crochets into the remaining chain spaces. Work 1 double crochet into each stitch. Everyone, finish this round. That concludes the explanation for sequence 1. The following sequences 2 and 3 are basically the same as sequence 1. The first round of each sequence involves crocheting the corresponding number of pattern 1. The number of stitches in pattern 1 for each size varies from the previous round. Everyone, refer to the chart and skip the corresponding number of stitches. Similarly, if the stitch count doesn't match up perfectly at the end, you can adjust by skipping 1 more or 1 fewer stitch based on the actual situation. After completing it, check if the quantity of pattern 1 matches the chart. Rounds 2 through 5 are the same. The number of double crochets in round 6 is different. The exact stitch count is explained on the chart. For places where you need to increase or decrease stitches, use stitch markers on round 5 first, just like before. Here, I'll demonstrate the situation where you need to decrease stitches. First, mark approximately evenly spaced points on round 5, with the same number of stitch markers as the required decreases. The quantity here is not for reference. Once the marking is done, start crocheting. Work 1 double crochet into each stitch first. Crochet 3 double crochets into each chain space. Continue until you reach the marked chain space. When you get to the designated position, you need to decrease by 1 stitch here. Start by working 2 incomplete double crochets into this chain space. Then yarn over, and draw through all loops on the hook once. That completes the DC2 tog. Then work 1 more double crochet in this hole. This way, you've decreased 1 stitch in this hole. Then continue downward. Keep going until you reach the next stitch marker position. When you get to the designated position, start with a DC2 tog. Then work 1 more double crochet. This way, another stitch has been decreased here. Continue with this method. Finish crocheting the remaining part of the shoulder section. After completing all 3 sequences, you need to break the yarn. Crochet 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave a tail of about 5 centimeters. Cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail following the texture to the wrong side of the fabric. Make sure to hide several stitches well, then trim off the excess tail. This completes the shoulder parts. Now let's start crocheting the body section. The body section is also worked in pattern repeats. 5 rounds per sequence. Refer to the chart for the number of sequences. When crocheting the first sequence, make sure to separate the positions for the left and right armholes first. When working the last sequence, you need to crochet the hem lace trim part. The new stitch techniques used include CH3SL picket. Please watch me demonstrate. First, we need to determine the armhole position. I'll demonstrate the method using this small sample. Lay the crocheted part flat, with the back piece facing up, and the neckline pointing downward. Starting from the first stitch above and to the right of the marked cast, on grid with the stitch marker. Count the corresponding double crochets to the left. The stitch count varies for each size. Refer to the chart for the specific number of stitches. I'm using a random stitch count here. Place a stitch marker as a mark. Do the same on the other side. From this grid marked by the stitch marker, the stitch above and to the left, count the same number of stitches to the right. Mark with a stitch marker. You can now remove the first 2 stitch markers. This way, the stitch count for the front and back pieces in the first round of section 1 of the shoulder parts is identical. The difference in section 2 between the front and back pieces will be perfectly centered on the back piece. Fold along the stitch markers. At the folding point in the last round of the shoulder parts, mark with a stitch marker. Do the same on the other side. Place a stitch marker at the folding position. Position the stitch marker in the gap between two stitches. Once completed, you'll need to count the number of stitches between the two stitch markers. The stitch count for the front and back pieces needs to be consistent. If you find that the stitch count of the two pieces doesn't match after counting, you can slightly adjust the stitch markers. To make the stitch count of both pieces completely consistent. Additionally, the difference in section 2 of the shoulder parts should be positioned at the center of the back piece. After verifying the stitch count, continue by selecting one side, and count the corresponding number of stitches to the left from the stitch marker. Place a stitch marker there. Place the stitch marker on the corresponding stitch. The specific stitch count is labeled on the chart. I'm using a random stitch count here. Count the corresponding number of stitches to the right. Place a stitch marker to mark it. Do the same for the other side. From the stitch marker at the fold position, count the same number of stitches to the left and right. Place stitch markers to mark them. After completing this step, you can remove the stitch marker at the fold position. The stitches between these two stitch markers, including the stitches with the markers on them, belong to the sleeve section. It's the same on the other side. The middle part is for the front and back body pieces. Next, increase stitches under the arm on one side. Get the yarn ready. For convenience, so everyone can see the insertion point clearly, I'll demonstrate using a different color of yarn. Make a loose knot with the yarn tail. Insert the hook into the stitch marker position. Draw the loop through. Adjust slightly. Then crochet a certain number of chain stitches. Refer to the chart for the number of chains. After completing, join with a slip stitch at the stitch marker position on the other side. Crochet one chain stitch to secure. Leave about 5 centimeters and cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tails at the beginning and ending along the texture. Hide them on the wrong side of the fabric. Make sure to hide several stitches. Do the same on the other side. Now everyone, take a look. This is what it looks like after you've divided one side of the armhole and completed the underarm increase. Use the same method for the other side. Crochet chain stitches to connect. Finish the underarm increase. That concludes the demonstration of both armhole sections. Next, we'll crochet the first round of the body section. Here, I'll demonstrate using this small sample. Start by making a slipknot with the yarn tail. We begin from the right underarm position. This refers to the left and right sides when worn. Pick up the half loop above the 7th chain stitch of the underarm connection. Pull the loop through. Adjust slightly. Make 3 beginning chains. These 3 chain stitches count as 1 double crochet. Continue by picking up the half loops on top of the next chains. Work 4 double crochets. When crocheting, place the starting yarn tail above the hook. For this round, work pattern 1. Keep in mind that the number of chain stitches in the interval below slightly differs from the shoulder parts. Refer to the chart while crocheting. After completing the chains here, pick up the double crochet sequence on the front body and continue with pattern 1. For these single crochets, insert your hook into the stitch where the chain connects. Once this edge is finished, you're now at the left underarm position again. This single crochet here also picks up the stitch where the chain connects. Then, continue crocheting by picking up the half loops on top of the chains. These single crochets also pick up the stitches where the chains connect. Everyone continue to finish crocheting the remaining part of this round. After completing the last stitch, pick up the 3rd chain from the beginning chain, and join with a slip stitch. That way, the first round is completed. The second to fourth rounds from the back are identical to the stitch patterns of the second to fourth rounds. In each sequence of section 3 in the shoulder parts, refer to the previous demonstration, and combine it with the chart to crochet. Pay attention. After completing the last cluster stitch in round 4, pick up the first cluster stitch, and work a single crochet into it. That way, this round is connected properly. Take a look. This is what it looks like after the first 4 rounds are done. Now move on to round 5. Start with 2 chains as beginning chain. Then work 3 chains as an interval. After that, the next stitch is a DC2 tog. Please watch me demonstrate. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the hole below. Work an incomplete double crochet. Then insert again into the adjacent chain space. Work another incomplete double crochet. Now there are 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over. Draw through all 3 loops on your hook. 1 DC2 tog is complete. Next, work 3 chain stitches for the interval. After that, work 3 double crochets into the next 3 adjacent chain spaces. Work 3 chain stitches between each double crochet. After that, work 3 chain stitches. The next stitch is a DC2 tog. Insert the hook into the chain space below. Work an incomplete double crochet. Then insert your hook into the adjacent space. Work another incomplete double crochet. Yarn over. Pull through all loops on your hook. Another DC2 tog is complete. Chain 3 for the interval. Continue with another DC2 tog. Everyone, pay attention to the insertion point. This round goes into the spaces from the previous round. Work double crochets and DC2 tog. Chain 3 between each stitch for the intervals. Everyone, refer to the chart to complete this round. Now we've reached the last stitch position. Work 1 double crochet into the space below. After completing it, pick up the second chain of the beginning chain, and join with a slip stitch. This is the starting position. The technique for the DC2 tog is a bit special. It consists of this double crochet and the initial turning chain. That's it. Sequence 1 is now completed. Next, let's move on to sequence 2. Start with the first round. I already have the swatch crocheted here. First, you need to adjust the starting position. After that, chain 3 to start. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet. Then work 4 more double crochets into this chain space. After completing them, chain 3 as the interval, then work 1 single crochet into the adjacent stitch. This is still using pattern 1 stitch technique, but the insertion position is different. The 5 double crochets are worked into the chain space between the DC2 tog. The single crochet is worked on the double crochet stitch. Everyone can refer to the chart and finish this round accordingly. After completing the last stitch, join with a slip stitch. That's it. The first round is now completed. For the next rounds from round 2 to round 5, the technique is identical to sequence 1. You can follow the chart to crochet. Later on, except for the last sequence, every other sequence will be the same as the second one. Just refer to the previous demonstration, and complete the required number of sequences. In the last sequence, you'll need to work the hem. First, normally work the first 4 rounds using the stitch pattern mentioned earlier. After finishing, let me show you the crocheting method for round 5. Here, I'll use this small sample to demonstrate. Start by making one beginning chain. Then, work one single crochet into the hole below. After completing it, make a CH3SL picket. From now on, I'll simply call it a picket stitch. First, work 3 chains. Then, pick up with your hook through these 2 strands of yarn. Make 1 slip stitch. That's how you complete 1 picket stitch. Then, pick up the adjacent stitch, and work 1 single crochet. Next, pick up the adjacent chain space, and work 3 single crochets. Then, work 1 single crochet on the left stitch. Then, make another picket stitch. Work 3 chains. Then, pick up these 2 strands of yarn. And make a slip stitch. Another picket stitch is done. Continue by working 3 single crochets in the next chain space. After completing that, work 1 single crochet and 1 picket stitch in the left stitch. This round involves crocheting single crochets into chain spaces and stitches. Work single crochets and picket stitches into the bobble stitches. The picket stitch at the dent position is worked on the single crochet in the middle hole. Refer to the chart to complete this round. Once the last single crochet is finished, insert the hook into the first single crochet stitch, and join with a slip stitch. Crochet 1 chain to secure. Leave a tail of about 5 centimeters. Cut off the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail along the texture to the wrong side of the fabric. Hide several stitches before trimming the end. That's it. The body section has now been fully explained. Next, we will crochet the sleeves. Let's take a look at the finished product. Crochet in rounds along the reserved armhole section. The crocheting method for both the left and right sleeves is identical. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Let's start with the left sleeve. Begin by making a slip knot with the yarn. Locate the insertion point. Pick up the chain stitch under the arm. Work with the other 2 strands left from crocheting the body. Draw the loop through. Adjust slightly. Make 3 chains to start. Then work the stitch pattern for pattern 1. Here, you will only use the other 2 strands left from crocheting the body section. Place the starting yarn tail above the crochet hook. Pay attention everyone, this single crochet stitch is worked into the chain stitch connection. This means that in this stitch, there is 1 single crochet from pattern 1 of the body section, and 1 single crochet from pattern 1 of the sleeve section. Continue crocheting downward. Now you've reached the other side at the chain stitch connection. This single crochet is also worked into the chain stitch connection. This stitch also includes 1 single crochet from the body section, and 1 single crochet from the sleeve section. Continue to complete this round. After finishing the last stitch, join with a slip stitch. This way, the first round is completed. For the remaining rounds of the sleeve, you can refer to the chart and follow the previous demonstration to complete it. Next, we will crochet the right sleeve. Start at the chain stitch position under the arm, and pick up the other 2 strands from the body section to crochet. The stitch at the chain stitch connection also includes 1 single crochet for the sleeve and the body. The crocheting method that follows is the same as for the left sleeve. You can refer to the chart to finish crocheting. Up to this point, the crocheting method for the sleeves has now been fully explained. Finally, we will crochet the edging around the neckline. Let's take a look at the finished product. Starting from the cast on of the shoulder parts, crochet in rounds for 2 circles. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Get the yarn. Tie the yarn tail into a slip knot. Then, take the back piece of the garment, with the right side facing you, with the neckline facing up. Insert the hook into the back piece, at any group of cast-on grid near the shoulder. Draw the loop through. Adjust slightly. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. Then, crochet 2 single crochets in the same space. After completing it, work 2 chains. Then, crochet 2 double crochets in the adjacent space. Work 2 chains between the double crochets as an interval. After completing it, work 2 chains. We consider the 2 double crochets and 6 chains as one pattern 5. Then, crochet 3 single crochets in the adjacent space. This round involves repeating pattern 5 and 3 single crochets in the cast-on grids. Everyone should follow this pattern, and crochet this round all the way down. After completing the last pattern 5, in the first cast on grid, crochet one more single crochet. This will make up 3 with these 2 single crochets. Then insert into the first stitch, and join with a slip stitch. This completes the first round of the neckline edging. Next, we'll work on the second round. Start with 1 beginning chain. Then, in the first stitch of the previous round, work 1 single crochet. This is the same insertion position as the slip stitch. Then, work 2 chains. Next, in the chain space between 2 double crochets from the previous round, work 4 double crochets. Work 2 chain stitches in the middle as an interval. After completing, work 2 more chains. Here, we consider these 4 double crochets and 6 chains as one pattern 6. Next, in the middle stitch of the 3 single crochets below, work 1 single crochet. This round consists of repeating pattern 6 and 1 single crochet. The single crochet is worked into the middle stitch of the 3 single crochets from the previous round. Follow the pattern to complete this round. After completing the last pattern 6, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Pull tight. Work 1 chain to secure. Leave a tail of about 5 centimeters. Cut the yarn. Hide the yarn tail along the texture on the wrong side of the fabric. This completes the neckline edging. Up to this point, the making method for this top has been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.